In this video, I'm going to show you how to use rubrics in Canvas. Now with rubrics, you cannot just upload one to Canvas. You have to create it within Canvas, but it's not that difficult to do. So we're going to start by going to rubrics over on the left side within your course. Here we can see I have 3 rubrics that are already created, but we'll create a brand new rubric. I'll click the Add Rubric button in the upper right-hand corner. Now it automatically titles this some rubric, but if I want to use this rubric again later, I'd better come up with a better title than that. So let's just title this paper rubric. All right, so by default, one criterion is added. That here it just says you've got your criteria, your ratings, and your points. This is the default what it looks like. There's no description. It automatically has ratings that are 5 points or 0 points, with the total criterion being worth 5. But I can edit all of these fields so that it can match what I want it to look like. So first of all, for the criteria, if I click on the pencil icon, that allows me to change to the description. So if this is for a paper, maybe one of the things I want to check for is going to be spelling. So I type spelling for the description. I can put a longer description here if I need to, but I don't. So I will just click on Update Criterion. So now my first criterion is for spelling. Now maybe I want this to be more than 5 points, so I will change this, maybe make it 10. All right, and now I just click the Tab key, and now it automatically has changed my full marks for 10, my no marks for 0. Okay, well, maybe I don't want it to say full marks and no marks. I want it to be more specific. So if I click on this pencil icon, I can change this. I could change the 10 points to something else, but I'm going to leave it at 10, and I'm going to say no errors. Okay, now I could put no spelling errors, but I'll show you later why keeping things generic is better and easier for you. So I'm just going to click on Update Rating. So now I have 10 points for no errors. Here for my 0 points, again, I'll click the pencil icon, and I will put many errors. So if they have many errors, they're going to get 0 points, and I will update it. Now I want something between 10 and 0, so I'm going to click the plus sign in the middle. And here I automatically made it worth 5 points, but I could change that if I want to. And then I will put something like maybe some errors and an update. So now I have my first criterion. It is for spelling, and it is 10 points for no errors, 5 points for some errors, and 0 points for many errors. Okay, so that is my first criterion taken care of. Now, next, I can click on Add Criterion to add a new one. When I do that, I have an option. I can just click on New, which is going to make the default criterion like it was before I edited this. So I would have just 2 columns. If I want this next one to be set up similar to this with 3 separate ratings rather than just 1, and to be worth 10 points rather than only 5, I can duplicate my spelling criterion, and that is going to create a duplicate of that. So I'm going to do that. And what is this one going to be before? So say I'll type in grammar and then update. So now I have a new grammar criterion with 10 points for no errors, 5 points for some, 0 for many. This, as you can see, is why keeping them generic is better. If I would have put no spelling errors, some spelling errors, and many spelling errors, then I would have to edit each of these to change those to grammar. By just putting no errors, some errors, many errors, I don't have to edit these at all. I can leave them exactly the way they are. So now I will click on it one more time. And now here I have the option again to create a brand new one, or I can duplicate either the spelling or the grammar. So if I changed something in the grammar, then I could choose which one do I want to duplicate and duplicate that. And I'll show you if I just clicked on New Criterion, just exactly what that one would look like. And so maybe this one would be spelling, grammar, punctuation. and create. So this was creating a new rather than duplicating. And as I said, it was only 2 options, full marks, no marks. So it didn't do the duplicate with the 3, but that might be what you want. And then again, you can edit this to be whatever you would like. Okay, then when I'm finished, I'm going to click on the Create Rubric button to create this brand new paper rubric. And here it's displaying on the page and showing me. All right, so now that I have a rubric created, how do I use those rubrics? So the first part is adding them into an assignment or a discussion. So I'll show you the assignments first. I'm going to go into assignments and I have here a research paper. So I'm going to click on that assignment to open it. Here at the bottom, I don't have to edit. Right at the bottom is this Add Rubric button. So I'm going to click on that. Now here I have the option to create a brand new rubric if I don't already have one. I would just do what I showed you before and add a title and add all my different criterions. It works exactly the same way. It's just on this page instead of doing it through the rubric button. But I also can use the Find a Rubric to add a rubric that I have already created. So I'll show you how that works. I'm going to click on Find a Rubric. Now, this allows me to search for not just rubrics within this course, but rubrics within any course that I'm an instructor in. So this first column are all the different courses I have. Okay, so I'm going to click on this new instructor training. That's the one I'm in. The second column is all the different rubrics I have within this course. And so let me find... it's different. It's this instructor training course. Okay, and so here, this is a research paper. So I have a previously created rubric called Research Paper Rubric. So I'll click on that. Now this far column is an example of what it looks like. So I can make sure, is this the correct rubric or not? If this is the one I want to use, I just click on Use this rubric. All right, so now here that rubric has been added. Now, I'm going to click on Edit to show you the settings for the rubric. Okay, the setting that matters most for us is this one down here. It says use this rubric for assignment grading. You're going to want to select that if you're going to use the rubric for grading. So when I'm doing my grading, I'll be able to click in the box and say, okay, they get 10 points for this, 5 points for that, 10 points for this. And it will total up those number of points that I've given the student. If this box is unchecked, it is not going to total those up. I will have to manually add up and put those point values in. If I want Canvas to do the math for me, I just want to check that box to use this rubric for assignment grading, and then click Update Rubric. Once you've actually graded with the rubric, you will not have the option to come back and change this. So always make sure you click check it right when you're adding a rubric in. So I'm going to click on Update My Rubric. Now this is a warning. It's just telling me I've got a 25, 30-point rubric and my assignment is worth 200 points. That wouldn't be a problem for you because you're creating rubrics that should match your assignments. This is just because I'm playing around. So I'm just going to say leave different and not worry about that. All right, so my rubric has been added to my assignment. Next, I'll show you adding a rubric to a discussion. It works exactly the same way. It's just where you add it that is different. So here I have a discussion. I'm going to click on it to open it up. I'm going to click the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner, and then I have an Add Rubric button here. So once I click on that, again, I can create a brand new rubric if I want, or I can find a rubric. And I also have that use this rubric for assignment grading. So if I click that now, then I find my rubric. And let me make this big again. So I find my course, instructor training course. I find my discussion rubric is the one I want to use. Is this correct? Yes, it is. Use this rubric. And now it has been added to my discussion. All right, so the last step is how do I grade with those rubrics? I'm going to go to Grades. Now, there are no student submissions on these things, but it doesn't matter. I'll do some grading anyway. So I'll start with my research paper. I click my 3 dots and go to my speed grader. By default, I don't see the rubric. I just see a box to enter points. but I'm going to click this View Rubric button. I'm going to drag this panel over to make it bigger. And here I just click on whatever the matches with what the student has turned in. So I can say maybe, okay, they had some spelling mistakes, they had no grammar mistakes, and they had many punctuation mistakes. So here they've got a total of 15. It shows 15 out of 30 points. And I have to make sure I click this Save button. Now, one important thing too, you can use this comment box to make a comment. So if I wanted to click in here on the one with no mistakes, I can say something like, great job. And then for the punctuation, maybe I want to say something about, pay more attention here. Okay. When I'm done, I'm going to want to make sure I click the Save button to save not only my comments, but also what I've chosen for the grading. So I'm going to click on Save. Now, because I chose to use this assignment for rubric grading, it is automatically made 15 points, the point value for the students for this assignment. Okay. Now, if I go back and do the same thing for my discussion, it works exactly the same way. For discussions, all the posts the student has made would show up here on the left-hand side, and I just simply click on the View Rubric, grow it to make it big, choose whatever boxes I'm going to choose. I can add those comments if I would like to. I can also override points and put something different if I would like to. Then I'll click on Save when I'm done, and I must have this rubric, I must not have checked that box. So this was a different one than the one I created in front of you. And the box to use this assignment for grading was not checked. And as you can see, I don't have the point value ended in. So I'm going to have to actually manually see, okay, they had 30 points and enter 30. So that's why you're going to want to make sure you remember to check that box. All right. And that is how you use rubrics within Canvas.